Hi everyone, this is Karen. In this video I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the circle font inside the frame that you're seeing on the screen. And I'm going to save that as an SVG file, upload that into Design Space, then cut it out using Cricut iron-on glitter product. Then I'm going to use a heat press to put that onto a tote. I've already got my frame here, which I sell on my Etsy shop if you're interested. And I've got the library showing the circle monograms. There are 4 choices. So if you're using the circle monogram font from Font Brothers, this is what it looks like on your screen in Sure Cuts A Lot. I love Sure Cuts A Lot because it lets you easily add these letters into your circle rather than having to use codes which they provide to you in a PDF document. So I'm going to show you what the different versions look like. This one is called Circle Monograms 3 Black, and 3 means 3 letters, and black means the background that you're going to see here. It's not the letter that's black, it's the background. If you look at 3 White, the monogram will have 3 letters, the left, the middle, and the right, and you'll have a white background. You can also do a monogram if you have 2 letters in the person's name. You have a left and a right. There's no middle. And in this case, being black, it has a background, and then 2 White is 2 letters with a white background. You can also add various types of circles or squares around the monograms, but in this case, I'm only going to be using the letters. So I'm going to do a 3 black, and I'm going to use my initials. So I need the left side, which is K. So I'm going to click to insert that. Then I need my last name, which is A, which goes in the middle. And then I need my middle initial, which is I, and that goes on the right. H-I. So here you see it's all created very easily for you. So just going to close this screen, take this and move it over here. It's all selected together, so it will move together. I'm going to press my Shift key and drag this out so that it stays proportional to what it was. And I'm going to drag that into the middle of my frame and make that just a little bit larger. I'm going to select everything and center this. So that's all perfectly centered now. You could make the initials a little bit larger or smaller if you like. That's entirely up to you. Before I continue with this, I'm going to right click, choose Path and Union. That welds all of this together so that you don't have any lines cut in between the letters. Now I'm going to select all of the items. Then I'll click Center Horizontal and Vertical, and that's going to center them to the page, and you're going to see that everything is nicely centered here. So from here I'm going to choose File, Export, and I'm going to save this as an SVG file. Let's see, as a circular frame, and I'm going to call it a chevron circle frame. That's in SVG format, and I'll save it. To be sure that it's compatible with Design Space, I need to check this box and then click OK. Once that's done, I can go to Design Space. I'm going to upload an image, and this is an SVG file, so it needs to be a vector upload. I'll browse for my image, and I had put that in my digital cutting files under monograms and circle frames, and here's my file. So I'll click Open. That's going to display it over here. The name is fine for me, so I'll click Save. And here it is. So I'll click it to put it on the screen so I can work with it. And it brings it in exactly the same size as I had saved it. So I can go up here to the Edit panel and check the size, So that's 4 and a bit more than half, a bit more than 4.5 inches, circular, and that will work fine on what I'm doing. So I'm going to click go. Here's the problem. If I were doing 2 separate colors, this would be fine. But it's going to be a whole lot easier for me to work with if I don't have these separated, because I'm going to have to place this part inside the circle here and make sure that it's even. So since I'm doing both pieces in the same color, I'm going to cancel out of here. I'm going to select everything, go to layers and attach. Then when I click go, you'll see everything is fine in one piece. Because this is iron-on material, I need to click this checkbox over here to make sure that it's a mirror image. It will flip it horizontally. And then I can cut this with my Cricut Air. Here you see that I'm putting the material down on the mat. I'm putting the glossy side down, the dull side is up. And you'll see that the plastic behind here is your carrier sheet. When you weed, it will be left on that carrier sheet. So now I'm just going to smooth it down to make sure that it's well adhered to the mat. And you'll see that you don't need to cut the end off. You can just feed it in the machine like that. And later on you can cut apart your pieces. So I'm pressing the load button and my dial is already set to iron on. Clicking go in the software. And now I can press go on the machine. This is going to take quite a while to cut out because of the design. Here I'm cutting lines with my craft knife. Then I'll be pulling away the rest of the iron-on material so that I'm only working with the small piece that I need and that I'm not wasting the rest of it. Sorry for my head there. Just making sure that the line is long enough to go past where my design ends. Now I'm going to pull away the rest of the material. And now I'm showing you how it's cut. It's difficult to see, but you can see faint lines there. So I'm pulling that off the mat, and the next thing I'm going to do is weed. I'm using my Cricut pick, and I'm pulling from the corner of the material. And here you see the plastic backing. I'm pulling that away. You'll find that iron-on material is slightly thicker and more rubbery than sign vinyl, but it will still tear, so you have to be a bit careful. So first I'm going to pull away the circle that goes around the initials. Then I'll work through the letters. And then finally I'll get to the chevron. But I'm not going to make you watch all of this. I'll advance through some of it and put some music on for you. So here I'm showing you what it's going to look like. I've fired up the heat press. It's ready to go. It's hot. So first I'm heating the material itself. Make sure it's nice and flat. Placing the material down to be pressed. Here we go. So clamp it down and it's going to count to 15 seconds. And it's ready. And I'll show you how beautifully that's turned out.